Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Run 8. Today, I have pulled the engines off the front. We are on the lead for the, I forget, this is TD something back here is the name of this, whatever this terminal back here. There's a big terminal back there for unloading and loading container cars behind us. So we're sitting on the lead track, so we really need to get our train out of here before an actual load comes through. So I have disconnected the engines, and we are working on running them around the train right now. I wanted to spend a minute talking to you about Run 8 itself. I've had about 3 weeks to play with it now, and have really enjoyed it. I didn't talk much about the actual product last week, or on the last episode, where we brought this Autorack train down here. So first, let's talk about the history a little bit. So for those of you that know where this came from, Run 8 is basically a byproduct of the original Microsoft Train Simulator. So when Train Simulator came out about, I don't know, I guess almost 20 years ago, I think it was about the year 2000, so 24 years ago. It made a little bit of a splash. I think it actually did better than maybe they thought it was going to do originally. It didn't do great, but it did well enough that there became a pretty large following. And one of the things that happened was there were two companies, maybe more, but two that I'm aware of. One was called Maple Leaf Tracks, and the other was called 3D Train Stuff. And they began to make what today we would call DLCs, but back then you didn't download them at first. They were, when they first came out, Maple Leaf Tracks and 3D Train Stuff, you would purchase the item and they would send it to you on a burnt CD. So it was more of a, I guess it would be called expanded content that you would buy on an extra disc. And that's the way games did it back then. You know, when you had discs, when an expansion would come out, you would go to the store and buy the expansion on disc. This game came out, or the Microsoft Train Simulator came out right on that verge of when we started downloading things. So I remember buying early products for this game on disc, and then later on being able to download them through a product called Digital River. And that was something that I think 3D Train Stuff used, if I remember correctly. Anyway, when the game finally went defunct and they said, that's it. Microsoft really didn't do much more with the game after they released it. They just kind of let it go. But these other companies kept developing content for it. So I believe what happened, and there was a bunch of different games that bought the rights to the engine. I believe Dovetail Studios was one of those companies, and they purchased what we know today as Train Simulator Classic. Versus Train Sim World, which is the new product. But Train Sim Classic was based on that original Microsoft engine. And you'll find in that there's routes that are like the Marius Pass route. There's a lot of the classic Train Sim routes that you can buy for Train Simulator. Now, 3D Train Stuff also bought rights to the engines, and they began, or to the game engine, and they began to create Run 8 and have done a great job. It's been many years of development, and they were kind of looking to make like a perfect multiplayer version, because a lot of people were complaining that Microsoft Train Simulator could have been a lot better if it had been multiplayer. And so the routes that we see in California for Run 8 are mostly the routes that were released by 3D Train Stuff for the Microsoft Train Simulator. You have the Cajon Pass, you have the Tehachapi line, you have like the Bakersfield subdivision. Those are all things that were released as DLCs for the Microsoft Train Simulator, and they've done a great job with this game, making it so that they could take those routes and actually merge them together, because you couldn't do that in Train Sim. So they did a good job kind of bringing it up to a little bit more modern standard and being able to buy one route and then buy another route and have them actually connect and become one big route. And that's what we've done here. I have the A line, and I'm also combining it with the Baldwin subdivision here in Florida. And so we have a pretty cool game. It is a dated engine. However, I will say that they've done a good job bringing the graphics engine into the 2025 era, 2024 era. It's not the best looking game ever for sure, but because of the tweaks that they've done with the physics and the graphics, it's still very playable and very enjoyable. And the gameplay is wonderful. They've really it's a very smooth game. However, it is a small company and there are some caveats. We got to come to a stop right now. I'm going to have to get permission to cross that. So the first caveat is the game has a super huge learning curve. There is no easy way to learn this game. I've been doing it for about 3 weeks, and there's still millions of things that I don't know about this game that I was doing wrong or have done wrong. And you'll see even some of that stuff here. I know some of you guys that are watching this that are veterans are just going, oh, God, I can't believe he just did that. And part of it's lack of knowledge. Part of it is not, having played the game by myself and trying to learn these things. But like today, I learned that you can actually turn all of the applied air brakes off on a single train by pressing F5. I did not know that. I was hand doing it. So there are ways to get around some of those things. But there's just documentation. There's lots of documentation, but it's just spread everywhere. We're going to tone the dispatcher and ask for a signal. This is a tough one. I'm going to see how we do this. He'll give us a signal and we're going to pull through. And so I'm going to release the brakes. There go, auto responded, and he's given us a clear signal. I really like this part of it. I think that they've done it, once again, a really good job. Like, it's cool that we can actually contact auto and say, hey, look, I need this, to pass this signal. And he'll tell us yay or nay. If there's a train coming, he won't let us do it, but he does let us often do it. If there's a way to do it, he'll figure it out. So it's pretty neat. So we're going to go up past those switches and set that. But another problem with the game is that, it is a small company. So there are things that don't work quite right. The installation progress to get it to install right. Like when I bought Baldwin first and then I bought the A-Line. And for a while, I was having everything, they would not line up properly. So I had tracks that were like going through the bushes and stuff like that. And I had to uninstall everything, reinstall it, rerun the updater, it's like you have to do, there's a process to setting the game up properly. It is not just a simple matter of setting things up and, oh yeah, it's just going to work. There's a lot that has to be done to get this to set up properly. So that can be kind of frustrating when you're new. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to see if I can get auto to force us onto this line. I believe we are here. Yeah, we're in that block right there. I'm going to double click that block and I'm going to ask for permission to approach that. So let's go ahead and put the engine in reverse, take the brakes off, and I'm going to tone auto and request permission to connect up to my train. And we're going to request a signal. Now, really, I don't know if he can or not, because this is the signal we're requesting. He may not. Proceed on signal indication. He did give me a signal, but it's down at the other end. So I'm not sure how that shows up. I think we just go. Did he? Nope, he didn't switch the tracks, though, either. So, yeah, this is one area where we might have to use the map system to do it. So I'm going to go back into the map, and I'm going to click on this block. And can I switch it? Nope, so I'll have to do it by hand. I have to come over here, I think, to do it. This is where it gets a little tricky. I don't know why I'm not doing it. It's easier to do it in person. So now we're in person, and we're going to run back here and get this train hooked back up. And it let us do it. Okay. So I'm going to back the train up. Here she comes. Yeah. So the other issue, of course, is the installation, and the big issue, the website's terrible. I wish they would update their website. It is literally like an HTML page from 1999. They just have not bothered to do anything to upgrade the site. There's no shopping basket, so you can't really see what you've bought. You can't really see what you're buying. Like if you want to buy 2 or 3 things, you have to buy each one separately, download each one separately, install each one separately using the code that they give you. It's an archaic mess. Now, I grew up in the DOS days. I know how to get around a file system. I grew up before the internet. So navigating an old HTML site and doing it that way is fine. I know how to do it. I've done it before. You know, it's not the end of the world, but it's a little bit like, I don't know, fusty. It just feels like, man, update your freaking site. Like, use Squarespace or something and update your site. But I think the problem is once you have like that would screw up the SEO. You know, switching to a new site does throw SEO off because then Google's like missing pages and stuff. They've had that site up for so many years that I'm sure when you type in Run 8, it's one of the first things that comes up, and they don't want to lose that. So if they did switch over to a new site, I can see why they wouldn't want to do it, because it would really screw up, you know, from a business standpoint. It could really screw up their website, you know, like SEO. So but it's a very archaic website. So that's some of my complaints about the game so far. But really, honestly, I have just been having a really good time with this game. And it's one of those things that's super relaxing. I'll put on like a TV show or a movie, and I hop in a train and I run some cars like this. You know, we've run these cars down here tonight. And so once again, we're going to request a signal from Doobie Doobie. And I need to go, let's see, on the map here. We're going to be requesting a turn into here. There we go. And I don't think he will give us that. Can I turn this off? But I do want to... I don't know how they're going... See, we can't... I can't really request... There's no signal back there, so I don't know how we're going to do this, but we'll see. Hopefully we just can go on there. Cancel my routing. Then we got to redo the routing. Give me a call again. We're ready to go. Okay, tone dispatcher. He's going to be getting irritated with us by now. Let's see if you can do this. And I don't think when I have the signals like blue like that, I don't think he will cancel this. I think we've really confused him. Let's see if he can work it out. Uh-oh. Otto's had a heart attack. We killed him. Oh, no. He's not signaling anymore. He's like, I give up. You're done. I've never had him not answer, so we're probably going to have to reboot him. So let's turn Otto off. And I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to give myself a section because we're that's going to be off. This is going to be white. There we go. So let's see what happens. I don't know how this is going to work. We might get yelled at. Oh. I was still in reverse. I thought Okay, stop it. There we go. 2 notches. And we're off. Well, that was fun. But anyway, I'm really enjoying this game, and I do feel like it's a much better experience than any of the other train simulators that I've played, aside from like the physics part Derail Valley has, but I like the fact that this is a real railroad. And like for me, a big part is the nostalgia. I grew up around CSX and Norfolk Southern, and although I grew up in Ohio, you know, the rolling stock's pretty much the same. And for many years of my life, I saw these engines passing through, and some of the older stuff, and I mean, back in the day when I was growing up, we had the original chassis system kitty cat paint scheme, the orange, blue, and yellow. And in fact, the railroad that goes through my backyard used to have a switcher that they had purchased from them, and they've repainted it since. But it used to have the chassis system was scratched out, but it had the cat on it still, and so it was really cool to see that. But yeah, so this is what I grew up with. Once I get onto this siding here, I will contact our re-enable auto. But yeah, so this is, I feel very at home with this, setup, and I think I like it out of all the ones that I played. Like, I love Railroader. This game tends to feel and be a little bit more realistic than Railroader. However, I wish the guys from Railroader would work with these guys and get the Industries in like that, because the Industries could be so much more amazing. They're good now, but they could be amazing if they had that whole industry system that Railroader has. I can see it being pretty complicated with all these stops, though, because the A-line itself has, I want to say, there's probably at least 100 industries in a 50-mile section here, or 40-mile section. There's the place that we're going back here, there's industries. There's a whole, like, snake of tracks back here that go to, like, 10 different industries, 20 different industries. There's a bunch of different industries back here. All along the main line, there's industries. So we can turn auto back on at this point. Anyway, there's a ton of stuff to do. Here's the start of the industrial park. I love the wig-wag signals. I think in Ohio, I'm pretty sure they've changed the rules, and unless it's a really low traffic road, they have to have crossing gates. It's very rare that you see an unguarded gate like that. So that would put this, once again, this route's supposed to take place, I think, in like the mid-90s. So, yeah, these would have been replaced by now. I think all across the U.S. that's the rule now. I'm not positive, though, but I'm pretty sure. So we're in the northern, I believe this takes place in Jacksonville, the Jacksonville area. Like, Jacksonville's just up the rails, maybe like 3 or 4 miles, or maybe 8 miles. Love the Beetle. And we have arrived at our destination. We just need to get through this intersection here. And once the train passes the switch, I'll throw it. But here's where this is the auto rack yard here. And I think we'll probably have to split the train in two to get it on both tracks. Well, obviously to get it on both tracks. But I think it's not going to fit on a single track. I think we'll have to split it. So we'll do that. And our train will be delivered. Who ordered the poo-poo platter? This is a long train. Dang. That's how they roll. I realize that this is the actual ramp that we want right here, not the other one. So we have even further to go. I should have pulled into this siding. I didn't realize. Oh well. We'll get it all sorted. That means I gotta go past the end of that ramp there. But here's the trackage, and let's go down here while the train is continuing on its way. I'm gonna go down here and check it out, see what we need to switch. Didn't know that they had stop signs on railroads, but apparently we do. And there she is. So we got to stop for trains coming through. I'm pretty sure the train's going to fit in this before the stop sign, but it's going to be close, actually. We're getting pretty close to the stop. If we have to go past it, we will. I'm not sure if you signal how you do it. But that's kind of funny. I've never seen that before. Maybe waited too long, but we're going to slam on the brakes. Here we go. Stop. I'm hoping that we're far enough. I don't know. We'll have to see. Hit them brakes a little harder. There we go. And she comes to a stop. And let's go see where the back of the train is. Okay, so how can we do this without passing the stop sign? I've got an idea. I've got an idea. All right, so we're gonna go about halfway down the train here, and I'm gonna push back. Meanwhile, I'm going to put the train in reverse. Take the brakes off. So right now we're at the nub. The nub hub. If I go about this far into the train, let's take this car here, and we're going to roll this backwards. So power on. Let's see what happens here. I did 3 beeps. Man, it's going to take a little while, but there's no need to speed. We'll get this back. Well, now that was weird. I didn't throw any switches, but the switch is thrown. I don't know what we're going to do now. Because that probably popped the brakes. I'm going to go to either end. Yep. Crapola. Well, that's a pickle if I've ever seen one. Man. And of course, that broke the brake hoses. Can we reattach them? Fudge knuckles. Did it apply? Yeah, it did. Why would you do that? Okay, let's not apply all the brakes. So let's see now. Are these released? Yeah, these are all released. Okay. Doggone it. Okay, so I'm lucky we didn't break the coupler at least, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to F7 the train to reset the brakes. I don't want to go through the whole hassle of trying to sit in the engine and spend half an hour getting it out of emergency. Didn't we close this? Could you walk a little faster, dude? Nope. Close that. Okay. And this is closed also. Well, like double coupler. Okay. Fudge knuckles. Okay, try that again. We're going to F7 it again. Oh, but why does it keep... And we blew it again. God dang it. I need to be able to pull the train, and the problem is the air brakes are going to keep. When I do that F7, it tries to reconnect them. Dang it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to pull forward. Getting some power on there. It's not gonna work. Let's take a look at the engine. What's going on? We got a PCS open. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. How am I gonna do this? This is what I've run into before. I get into this situation, and it's my fault. I didn't, though. I swear to God, I didn't throw that switch. I don't know why that was switched wrong, but that makes life a lot harder. So I think what I'm going to have to do here is to split the train apart and then recouple it, which is going to be weird, but because then I can at least set the brakes on this. I'm going to open the coupler. Okay, let us do that, so that's good. So now these are uncoupled. I think they're considered separate trains. So if I do this, let's see what happens. I'm going to click on this car, and I'm going to press F7. And no, immediately it blows. Dang it. If I can do this, hang on. Okay, I might have got it. It's holding at 73, and it's going up. So maybe we got it. Let's check the PCS now. Okay, PCS is closed. Good. It still puts us back here. Ugh. Now, that should let us pull forward, but let me see if I can recouple these now. Uncouple pin open. No, that's all I can do. So I can pull forward now with this. Some point, I think. It's going to take a minute for it to respond, but there we go. Okay, so we got that disconnected, and the brakes should work. Brakes are working. Okay, good. Okay. And let's take a look at this here. We're going to... The air should all be out of here. And that's not good. We want it to be pumped up. Ugh. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Because if the air's out... I think that means that the car can't move. Maybe. I don't know. I think when it's filled up, it'll move. And when it's not filled up, it'll be stuck. Somehow we have to push these cars out of the siding. I'm going to push this car back. And I'm just one-notching it. We're going to go nice and slow. See if we can't get these two lovebirds to couple. In real life, I wonder how they do this. Maybe get a hose extension and connect them up and then pull forward. Like I said, at least we didn't have the car come off the track, but man. Well, this was exciting. Made for some drama on the rails. Come on. Yeah. Excessive coupling, we know that. Okay. Forward, brakes off. Give it like a full pull. Take up the slack. Come on, pull it. Do it. Oh, why did it apply the brakes? Oh, yeah. Okay, we got it moving. Okay, so we just need to get that car back up onto the main. And it's going to fight us. I need a little more power. Come on, a little more power. A little further. We're pulling against all those brakes, but it's working. Like, I think I'm at notch. Notch 6. Yeah, we're really having to pull on those. But that means we'll be able to get it. So now. Weird. Oh, I see. I had that still selected, so I was putting the brakes on and off. Okay, brakes off. Okay, let's throw this switch. Okay, now we can come back. Dang. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this is closed. That's open. We're going to connect, and I'm going to put a partial on this. That'll start filling the brake pipe back up pretty quickly, I think, but not super quick because this is a big train. Yeah, there we go. Pipe's filling back up again. Oh, what a nightmare. But we fixed it. Okay, in the meantime, let's release the brakes and put the engine in reverse, and we're going to start rolling backwards again. So 1, 2, 3, that's about where we're at. I don't want slow speed. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I didn't press Control C, so there we go. In a second here, we're going to get the slack. The cars are going to bang up together, and there we go. So long, sucker. And let me see the end of the train here. How far do we have? Oh, we got a ways to go before we get to that intersection. And she's still moving. Good. Perfect. Okay. Throttle's off. And we're going to put the brakes on now. That should be about half the train. More brakes. And get this thing to stop. There we go. And we're going to cut it right at this car here. Back the first load down and in, and then come back for the second load. Got the slack rolling. Do we have any slack in these? Well, we're going to close the angle cock there. Close the angle cock here. Disconnect the hose. No, we got to push on it a little bit. Okay. So engines, brakes off. And give it a little pushy push. And it'll take a minute or two for it to get down to this end of the train. It's pushing, but we don't see it for a minute. There we go. And then we're going to open the coupler there. Those are both opened. Okay. And we're good. So let's go ahead and throttle forward. And power on. Once again, it takes a minute for us to see it because we got to wait for the whole train to stretch out. Here it comes. The only thing I don't like is that in real life, when that happens, there's a loud banging that goes down the train. It goes as it comes down the train to where you're located. And we have trains stop in our backyard before they go into the yard. And 3 o'clock in the morning, they decide they're going to start up and head into the yard. And it does tend to wake one up in the middle of the night when it's like pow, 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 pow. So, yeah, it's fun. Okay, and we are past the siding now, and I'm going to go ahead and apply brake. This time, now we're going to throw this switch. There we go. And he's going to roll away. Brakes. And he's stopping. And let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And there's a train coming in the Baldwin Local. Two notches to go backwards. And we're going to get this first cut of cars down into the yard. And we'll come back for the rest later. And we didn't have to cross the stop. But we certainly did cross the switch. All right, I'm going to ride on here. Catch you guys in a second here. And we're riding the back of the train down into the siding. Got the power off, I believe. No, I'm notch 1. They're notch 0. Keeping it to about 10 miles an hour. This is where they'll finish the manufacturing of the cars, and from here they go to the dealerships. Tell you what, man, this train that we brought down is gonna pretty much fill this facility up. I think we're gonna have to hit both sets of auto ramps here. Let's apply those brakes. Take it down to about 3 miles an hour. Push it a little bit. I mean, we want it to be right up against there, but we gotta just take our ever so careful loving time not to push this thing off the tracks. What are those yellow? Obviously they're meant as stops, but nope, wrong end. There we go. Let's walk over here. Got about half car length. A little bit of a notchy notch there. You can see it burst right there. Just for a second there, it lurches a little bit, and then when we had the notch on, I shut it off. But it needs to come all the way back. Oh, she's going to stop a little further. No grade, but for some reason it's stopping. Oof. Quarter car length. There we go. Stop. Yeah, off the rails. Oh, God. Could use a little more precision on that one. All right, let's go ahead and take it forward just a hair. It's hard because there's such a huge delay between when you put it in and when the actual cars stop. It wasn't too bad. Maybe the next one will get a little better. Come on, buddy, pull. I don't want to have to add another notch of power, but I guess I'm going to have to. Notch on, let it soak in, let it go. And I just want to see the end of this. Kind of ram the ramps through the back. That's probably, in reality, that's probably where we want it. So we apply the brake here, cut the throttle, and move on up to forward here. Yeah, this train is... I don't know. We might have to. Some of the cars might have to wait on the siding because this is jam packed. We did a good job. A good job. No such thing as too many cars, or so you thought, but apparently there was. So we'll cut it at the end of the CSX car. Actually, the Conrail car here. Conrail quality. We can cut it right there. There's enough room. So let's go ahead and tie it up. Close that. Disconnect that. And okay. We had enough release to release. Okay. And take her forward 2 car length and a half. Good. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and train's past the stop. Brakes on. I don't know if all these cars are going to fit in here. They may not. Wait for that to stop. And we're going to put the engine in reverse. Brakes off. And notch 2. It takes about 2 notches. Now, the train's going to get lighter here, obviously, because we have about half as many cars as we had before. So let's go ahead and push this back into the yard. So relaxing and enjoyable. And I'm about 5.5 miles an hour, and I'm just going to shut the notch down to 1. Actually, I'm going to shut it off right now because we're gaining speed, so I don't want to go much faster than this as we pull in these sidings here. How close are the engines? I don't know, man. I think these cars are going to go into all these sidings. And we still have... The other train that we left at the top is short. But, I don't know. I don't see those engines yet. And we're... I see a lot of cars. Oh, boy. On there, and I'm gonna ride it back. So the bad news is the engines have not come around the corner yet. The engines are still loitering at the switch where we're coming in. That might be them right there, just coming into the siding now. I don't think so though. They're a long way back. Dang it. Got about 1 car length to go. Let's see how nice and precise we can get this. Let it roll it slow. Nice and slow. I learned my lesson. And yeah, I do see, I believe I see the window of a cabin up there, yeah. So the engines are finally around the corner. So I don't know. I think we're gonna have a couple cars we're gonna have to park on the siding, which is okay. That's what it's for. But I got overzealous when I brought my train down. Let's back up a little bit so we can see. Get ready to brake. Oh. It needs to come back a little bit. Oh, dang it. That's not, I definitely didn't want that to happen. All right, N1 is on, and then I'm going to turn N1 off. Let's see what happens. Yep. Okay. Okay. All right. It's so close. A little more. N1 on, N1 off. A little bump. The bumpy bump. Curve. Thunk. Go. Didn't respond that time. N1 on, N1 off. Oh, I heard it clink. Oh, so close. One more. And I'd say we're in. That's in. Okay. Okay, so we're going to apply the handbrake on this car. There we go. So this train is set. Or this cut is set. And we'll cut this. The same distance here. I'm going to close that. Disconnect that. Open decoupler. And, yep, you can see there we got about 1 more cut worth of train here. So I don't know. We'll see how this all works out. Forwarder up, brakes off, engine on. 2 toots for failure. All right, there she goes. And we left behind the train. Good. We're good. I'm going to put this, I believe this is a shorter cut on this other track over here. Right? Which way is this going? That's going to the, yeah, that's going to the right way. Okay. So we basically just need to get past this right here, and then we'll switch it. All right. Throw those brakes on. And click that. There we go. And once it stops, we'll put it in reverse. Reverser on. Throttle on. Brake pipe off. Getting a little easier to push the cars now because we have a lot less weight on the engines. Notch 1 and notch off at 8 miles an hour. That's probably way too fast. Yeah, I don't think this whole cut's going to fit in here. Dang it. Oh well. First time down here, I'll know better. We'll see how many cars it fits, and then we'll know not to bring anything more than that. Alright. Bumping up the brake cylinder here. Loosen. There's a little too much braking. Oh gosh. I don't want to stop. Put it on notch 1. Notch off. Nacho Libre. Yeah, see, this cut's not fitting all the way. It's close, though. So it seems like this yard can hold about 40 cars, which is what I brought. So I thought we could fit them all, but just a little further. Yeah, fudger. A little fudger. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 off. And good. That'll do, pig. Okay, so we have this car in place. Applied. Let me see something real quick here. It seems that each lane holds 11 cars comfortably. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 22 cars. We got 33 cars. So hopefully the rest of the cut will fit in that last 11 cars. Okay, so let's do this. Back onto the ground. Actually, I'm going to... Whoa! Whee! The camera can be a little sensitive. It's either like super fast or not fast enough. Okay, I'm gonna close angle cock, close the angle cock. We're going to disconnect the hoses, open the coupler, and pull forward. I didn't do it right. Stop. No. Okay. Brakes off, pull forward. Okay. So these cars I'm going to pull up here. And I need to get back into person here, so F12, there we go. We're going to, or shift F12 or whatever, pull right past here, and I'm going to stop the train. And we're going to pop these here. And I'm just going to leave these cars parked here. We'll pick it up with the rest of the train when we shove back. I got 1, 2... Let me see how many cars are up here. 2 in the siding and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there's no point. There's too many cars. I guess what we could do though, you know what? Since this is the last track, we can put those in. I'm not sure with Autoracks. They probably can't drive them if they're bendy. Like around a curve, like that's a pretty sharp curve, but maybe if we tie the last ones together and just dump them in there, they'll be fine. I don't know. Let me think about this. Let me look at the tracks this way. Actually, you know what? If we, okay, let's fill the siding. Oh God, this camera. If we fill the siding up, I can fill this up with 11 cars and then come back with the remaining cars and hook them to this. That would be a nice straight shot. See where the engine is? That's straight back there. So this we could dump all the cars here, and the remainder will cut out into here, but that'll get the rest of the cars into the siding. And so job done. Okay, so we're going to do that. Here we go. Got the engine. We're going to grab the coupler. We're going to close the angle crock, and I'm going to disconnect it. And we're going to open the coupler and open the coupler. And the engines are ready to go. So forwarder on, brakes off, notch 1, honk, honk, and she's off. Let's go grab the rest of those cars. We are almost done with the chore for today. See, it's taken an hour of video and about 2 hours of actual time. And so we're going to whip this thing around town. I wonder where my ditch lights are going. I mean, I beeped a while ago. They're still going. Okay, well, whatever. EOT not added. Well, yeah. Duh. Okay, we're going to go ahead and connect this. I'm going to open that, and we're going to partial this, though we should be able to open it all the way, because there's no... Yeah, it's building up. So let's go ahead and we can full open and full open. As long as we don't hear the of the brakes like dying. Okay, all right. Forwarder on, brakes off, and engine forward. And once again, we got a heavy train. 17 cars, it's almost half the train. Wrong buttons. Dang it. I pressed the wrong thing. Shiitake mushrooms. Slow down. Slow down. Don't want to slam into the other cars. Not really. Not particularly. Nice driving on my part. Smooth sailing. Bad. All right. Brakes. Brakes off. Perfect. Little clunky clunk. Might have been a little rough, but we're okay. And we're going to connect. I'm going to put it... See, this one's going to be on partial. That one's going to be on open. And then we're going to go ahead and push this one into open, because that was definitely enough time. And I'm going to hop on the car here. Oh, I can't see anything. Oh, there we go. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and push back up again on the throttle. Get her to roll back. Get 11 cars in the siding. And then the rest are going to connect up to that other car, and we're done. All right, so I've been working feverishly to get these cars into place and still keep the video under an hour. Did I accomplish that? I'm not sure, but we'll see. Oh, Lordy. All right, so we have completed our moves for the day. And we are all done parking these cars, thankfully. Everything's all set and all good to go. And we are a little bit, like, it's we're going to leave these cars out, sticking out of the chute like that. But that's okay. We got everything in, and they have a nice straight run back to the car carrier. So that's next time we know 40 is about the limit for the cars down here. 11 per siding, so 44 technically, but 40 is probably just easier to remember. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely had a lot of fun bringing everything down here and parking it. And we'll see you guys in the next Run 8 video. Have a great night. Be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up always help. Don't forget to check us out on Twitch if you haven't seen it yet. The link is in the description of the video, and we'd love to see you out there. I do play this more on there, and I will be doing multiplayer eventually once I get things figured out. So anyway, have a great night. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye.